Clements, and I am the CEO of Feeding Pennsylvania. We are the State Association of Feeding America Food Banks, and I'm joined here today by food banks from across the Commonwealth, and we are here to talk about Hunger Action Month. Food banks in the charitable food system serve people every single day of the year, but every September, people all over the United States join us and the Feeding America Network to drive awareness and inspire action to help end hunger in America. We have seen that hunger can happen to anyone in the blink of an eye. The COVID-19 pandemic left people jobless overnight, having to make decisions between things like a meal or being able to pay their bills, a meal or being able to get much needed medication. And we feel that we found that people who had never needed food assistance before suddenly needed our help. And while many people have returned to work, a lot of our pantries are still seeing millions of people entering needing food assistance. And the fight is not over. So for Hunger Action Month, we are asking the public to stand with us, to volunteer at your food bank, to volunteer at a local pantry, to donate, to post on social media about the face of hunger in Pennsylvania, and to have the conversation around your dinner table about hunger and how you can help end hunger in Pennsylvania. Feeding Pennsylvania is grateful to the Wolf administration, the Governor's Food Security Partnership, our legislators on both the state and federal level for working with us to address food security across the Commonwealth. I work with state associations all over the U.S., and I can say that we truly have been leading the way in this partnership. We couldn't do it without a lot of our partners that you're going to hear today, and one of them being DHS Acting Secretary Meg Snead. I'd like to ask the Acting Secretary to come up and speak now.
I will get it right one of these days with my earrings. Good morning, and thank you, Jane, for the introduction and for your unending leadership and advocacy to help Pennsylvanians keep food on the table. My name is Meg Snead, and I'm the Acting Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services. As we continue to face an evolving public health crisis, we must remember that the toll of COVID-19 extends far beyond the loss of life, long-term health impacts, and the incredible emotional strain of collective grief and trauma. We have also faced historic unemployment and economic insecurity that is still challenging individuals and families in Pennsylvania every day. The pandemic has strained some of our most essential needs. More than 2 million people did not have reliable access to nutritious, adequate meals, and 1 in 20 Pennsylvanians were newly food insecure last year. Chronic food insecurity is a serious risk to our physical and emotional health and daily well-being. It's easy to joke about how we can get hangry or unproductive if we're hungry, but when we say that, we do so with the privilege of knowing that we will be able to eat sooner or later. For people who live with chronic hunger every day, that next meal is not always guaranteed. But if you or a loved one is currently struggling to keep food on the table, please know that you do not have to go through this alone. Over the past year and a half, Pennsylvania's Charitable Food Network and local food banks have been a heroic resource to ensure that individuals and families who are struggling do not have to go through this alone. The leaders who join us from Pennsylvania's food banks represent a much larger network of staff, volunteers, and donors who have rallied through incredible challenges to be there for their communities through incredible crisis. Your work is a reprieve for so many, and on behalf of the Wolf administration and the Department of Human Services, I want to thank you for all that you've done and what you will continue to do to ensure that Pennsylvanians across the Commonwealth can continue to meet this most essential need. And I'd like to quickly make a plug for another program that helps Pennsylvanians purchase fresh, healthy food. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP and formerly known as food stamps. Funded entirely by federal dollars, SNAP helps Pennsylvanians by providing money each month that can only be spent on groceries, helping households have resources to purchase food and supporting local grocers, food producers, and small businesses. SNAP complements the work of our charitable food network by offsetting the number of people who have to rely on food banks and pantries. For every meal provided by a Feeding Pennsylvania food bank, SNAP provides 9. Pennsylvanians can apply for SNAP online at www.compass.state.pa.us. If you or someone you know are struggling, please see if this program can help ease circumstances to get you back on your feet. We're all living through challenges that can feel incredibly isolating, and I think one of the best things Pennsylvanians can do to help others is know where they can go if they need help. Please remember the support available through our food banks and public assistance network, and please share these resources if they can help. Our charitable food network is a testament to the power and importance of community, and we cannot lose sight of that as we move forward. Thank you again to our partners in the Charitable Food Network again for all you do every day, and I'd now like to introduce my colleague at the Department of Agriculture, Karen Long-Earl.
Good morning, and thank you, Secretary Snead. I'm pleased to be here this morning, and I send regrets on behalf of Secretary Redding, who wishes he could have been here to join everyone this morning to highlight Hunger Action Month. With 1 out of every 8 Pennsylvanians at risk of hunger, the fight to ensure that everyone across this great Commonwealth has access to safe, nutritious, and adequate food supply is one that we take very seriously at the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. In fact, it is one that we know everyone in Pennsylvania's farm to fork continuum takes seriously. And never more so did they show that commitment than over the past year and a half during the ongoing COVID pandemic. From the farmers, to the food processors and manufacturers, to the grocery store workers, to the food bank staff and volunteers. All of them, despite great risk, stress, and uncertainty, persevered to keep us safe and to keep our Commonwealth fed. Just one of the many ways that our food and agriculture industry, in partnership with state government and our statewide network of food banks, kept our state nourished during this time was through a program known as PASS, or the Pennsylvania Agricultural Surplus System. As Secretary Redding often says, you can't have a charitable food system without a food system that's charitable. And our PASS program is designed to respond to that charitable spirit amongst Pennsylvania's agricultural producers. PASS provides an alternative market for many agricultural producers in the Commonwealth that have no outlet for excess product. Producers, packers, and processors donate their product and are reimbursed for costs involved in harvesting, processing, and/or packaging donated product. Funds made available through PASS help to support the state's agricultural industry and ensure that Pennsylvania-produced products are available to help meet the basic needs of low-income residents right here in our Commonwealth. Since this program was first funded by the Wolf administration in 2015, more than 20.6 million pounds of fresh, nutritious Pennsylvania food has been distributed to low-income residents in all 67 Pennsylvania counties across the state through members of both the Feeding Pennsylvania and Hunger Free Pennsylvania network of food banks. Our department and our industry share in the commitment to ensure that not one Pennsylvanian ever has to wonder where their next meal is coming from. And during this Hunger Action Month, we urge all Pennsylvanians to find ways in which they too can help to elevate the fight against hunger. It is now my pleasure to introduce my colleague from the Department of Education, Vonda Ramp.
Good morning. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the Pennsylvania Department of Education in the company of individuals and the agencies and organizations that continue to work tirelessly to assist children and families throughout the pandemic and who were committed to this long before the pandemic started. Feeding Pennsylvania and its network of food banks, the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, the First Lady's Office, and many others. Thank you for everything you do, and including me in this event today. This is a topic that PDE is deeply committed to. I am Vonda Ramp, the State Director of the Child Nutrition Programs in Pennsylvania within the Pennsylvania Department of Education, which has oversight for the federal child nutrition programs that include the school meal programs, the child and adult care food program, and the summer food service program. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is the federal agency that administers these programs, and throughout the pandemic, they issued nearly 100 waivers in order to allow students and children to continue to have access to nutritious meals even when they were not in school or in childcare. The work of nutrition directors and their teams in schools and childcares across Pennsylvania should be recognized as well, as they were boots on the ground for many weeks and months on some of the most challenging and uncertain times when children were not in school or in childcare, ensuring that meals were provided to these students. As students return to the classroom, the efforts of this administration, as well as USDA, to reduce hunger throughout the state of Pennsylvania continues. This year, schools participating in the child nutrition programs are able to provide all students with free meals during the school day. The stability of these meals, as well as the nutritional requirements, provides children with a reliable and nutritious food source. Often, these meals are the most nutritious food in a student's diet, and for some children, their only meals. A hungry child cannot learn to their full potential. PDE is committed to continuing our partnership with these fabulous organizations to diminish hunger throughout the Commonwealth. Thank you for your collaboration and for sharing a collective vision of improving the health, nutrition, and well-being of millions of children in Pennsylvania. At this time, I'd like to introduce Jen Wilborn, the Chief of Staff to the First Lady Frances Wolf.
Thank you, Vonda. It is an honor to be here today on behalf of First Lady Frances Wolf, alongside the Feeding Pennsylvania team and so many colleagues who have truly gone above and beyond to address food insecurity in Pennsylvania. Governor Wolf has designated September 2021 as Hunger Action Month to bring attention to food insecurity in our communities and to remind us that everyone can play a part in ending hunger here in the Commonwealth. Whether you can volunteer at or make a donation to your local food bank, support mutual aid efforts in your community, share information on social media, or work to reduce your food waste, every action matters. Because the issue of food insecurity is solvable, and we see that clearly when we reflect on the collective action taken throughout the pandemic. We have seen such a phenomenal collaboration between our charitable food system, volunteers, agricultural industry, business community, advocates, and agencies and offices in federal, state, and local governments. And today is a reminder that the work continues. Together, we must continue our work to meet immediate need while strengthening our social security net, ensuring fair wages for all Pennsylvanians, increasing access to quality health care, improving our transportation system, addressing climate change, and making equitable investments in education. So Jane, on behalf of First Lady Wolf and Governor Tom Wolf, it is my honor to present this proclamation honoring September 2021 as Hunger Action Month and September 17th, 2021 as Hunger Action Day here in the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And again, thank you to all of our media partners for being here. As you can see, this really takes a true public-private partnership to make this work. And at this point, I'll take any questions from the media. We're good? All right. Thank you so much. Who had never needed food assistance before suddenly needed our help. And while many people have returned to work, a lot of our pantries are still seeing millions of people entering. To post on social media about the face of hunger in Pennsylvania, and to have the conversation around your dinner table about hunger and how you can help end hunger in Pennsylvania.
Agency that administers these programs, and throughout the pandemic they issued nearly 100 waivers in order to allow students and children to continue ensuring that meals were provided to these students. As students return to the classroom, the efforts of this administration as well as USDA to reduce hunger
continue to do to ensure that Pennsylvanians across the Commonwealth can continue to meet this most essential need. And I'd like to quickly make a plug for another program that helps Pennsylvanians purchase fresh, healthy food. The supplement food and supporting local grocers, food producers, and small businesses. SNAP complements the work of our charitable food network. You can apply for SNAP online at www.compass.state.pa.us. If you or someone you know are struggling, please see if this program can share these resources if they can help. Our charitable food network is a testament to the power and importance of community, and we cannot lose sight of that as we move. That next meal is not always guaranteed, but if you or a loved one is currently struggling to keep food on the table, please know that
The past year and a half during the ongoing COVID pandemic, from the farmers to the food processors and manufacturers, to the grocery store workers, to the food bank staff and volunteers, processing and or packaging donated product. Funds made available through PASS help to support the state's agricultural industry and
Equitable investments in education. So Jane, on behalf of First Lady Wolf and Governor Tom Wolf, it is my honor to present this proclamation honoring September 2021 as Hunger Action Month and September 17th, 2021 as Hunger Action Day here in the Commonwealth.